Good evening. Thanks for joining me. And I have a few poems tonight that I think are relevant to what's been happening in terms of the pandemic and in terms of the protests, which are sorely needed. The first two pieces I just wrote in the last, I guess in the last month or so. These are the pandemic-related ones. And these are about a couple students I've known. First one is a short one, kind of a haiku. It's called The Trap. Baby cried all night. 8 a.m. math class. Auntie not answering the phone. And this next one is one of the pandemic pieces. It's called Online Off Topic. Eva has to turn off her mic when she's taking the online class. The kids are dancing to Teletubbies, and the cat keeps spraying the keyboard. Dave is sitting in Mini Mart parking lot with his smartphone propped up against a box. There's a hot spot around here somewhere. He needs this math or he loses his grant. Marla waits until he drifts off to sleep before playing the recorded lecture. She doesn't want to piss him off, as if that wish would stop the hitting. The ancient adjunct dresses up as if he was teaching a normal in-person class, points the computer camera away from the cracked kitchen window. As the plague creeps across the city, no marks on doorways to stop the contagion. People in expensive cars congratulate themselves on a seamless operation. And this next piece is under consideration in a couple places. I wrote this about 5 years ago, or gosh, maybe just 3 years ago. Anyway, there's a number of references here, historical references. I think most people will recognize. And Julie, this is one that was inspired in part by part of your story. This is called In This Vision. In this vision, Tamir Rice is the baby on the back of my friend Julie's great-great-grandmother, who was fleeing soldiers that shot and killed the infant that saved the life of great-great-grandma at Wounded Knee. In this vision, the little bodies are wrapped in linen, children killed by drones in Pakistan, Syria, Afghanistan, lined up and laid end to end across 10 miles of the Beltway. Traffic is backed up all the way to Canada, while Harriet Tubman appears on all TV channels and points her finger at the camera. In this vision, Central American children being deported on dark trains arrive in Auschwitz, and the ovens kick on with a flaming roar, and the bodies pile up as millions of snarling dogs appear behind men wielding hoses and billy clubs and pepper spray. In this vision, all the dead killed by exceptionalism are back, and they're here to stay. And this next one was published in 1996 in an anthology called In Defense of Mumia. And I was there in very good company. Toni Morrison, Mary Baraka, Allen Ginsberg, a lot of famous folks in there, and then characters like me. And this is based on a real event that I covered as a journalist in Philadelphia. It was the beating death, the murder of Moises de Jesus by Philadelphia police. And one other thing I should explain, I mentioned something about being a cousin. When I told my mom the story of this situation, and she recognized that name, and she said, well, he could be related because we have De Jesus in our family. Anyway, this is called No Charges, Police Flashlight Ballet. Sparks jump connection flying, other synaptic pole, cocaine, guanguanco, dyspeptic rage. Messages in head of my distant, messages in the unmarked police car told him it was time to chill until he sees the gathering blue swarm. These are the same ones. They are the same sparks jumping the plate in his forehead. The message is, they will kill me. They will kill me now for damn sure. My distant cousin, I think. As I look at an autopsy metallic photo of gash in head, he is thinking, I have to get the hell out of this. Doors are locked. He is strong. Breaks window and crawls out before swarm of Lahara, the same ones like the cop who shot him point blank in forehead says, oops, accident. No charges against cop, brain surgery for Moises de Jesus. They are the same ones. They all look the same. He is running into wall of Philadelphia police car barricade. Call had gone out. Man with gun. He is running. He has no gun. Runs into wall of police. Cars struggles. Throws them off as others pile on. Throws them off as others pile on. They are swinging heavy police issue flashlights. They are the same ones. They are swinging heavy police issue flashlights. He is subdued into coma, is dead not long after. They knock him out again as he tries to escape from ambulance. As they arrive to hospital, these are the same ones. Sparks jumping, flight and darkness. He is knocked cold out. He is dead. Not long after. He is dead not long after. APB to man with gun who has no gun. Is another dead Puerto Rican in El Barrio de North Philly. He is wearing a gash to his grave, and the DA says cops will not be charged. DA says witnesses mean nada. DA says another dead Puerto Rican. DA says sparks jump. Autopsy photo. Wailing mother. Cousin, I think. No charges. No charges. It was 1996 when Philadelphia police beat this man to death in front of his mom. And I want to end with sort of a poem that goes in another direction, let's say. This did appear in a couple journals in the early 2000s, and I published it also in one of my chapbooks. And it's based on a quote from the Spanish philosopher Miguel de Unamuno. It's called Love is the Only Medication for Death. So they buried Ramona on a tombstone peninsula jutting into a Bronx boulevard. The roar of traffic and a mumbling priest. First, a viewing. A final farewell to a stone-gray sister of my grandmother. And my black-eyed Puerto Rican cousins wailing, falling on each other, knocking the brown metal folding chairs down in the sterile white room, the antiseptic death room. Uncle Joey screaming, "Ma! Oh, Ma!" And driving up to the city through a bituminous coal-black Pennsylvania night with Mama, crying and trying to remember how the old seamstress used to look in a yard surrounded by palm trees and sun. And she said, "Love is so selfish. I should be happy. She's no longer in pain." And I said, "Ma, love is the only medication for death." So keep your eyes open, keep your hearts open. Be careful. Black Lives Matter.